Dumfries è solo Lautaro, rete, ha segnato l'Inter!
This is the Pazza Inter podcast, where we talk passion, tactics, victories, heartbreak, and everything in between. Because with Inter, it's never just football. Vamos! Vamos! Well, ciao my people, and welcome to the Pazza Inter podcast. I'm your host, DJ Nik, coming at you from Milan, the home of the boys in black and blue, champions for the 21st time in their history. And today, fellow Inter fans, what a weekend we just witnessed from Inter Milan. Saturday night at the Olimpico in Rome, it felt like far more than a regular Serie A fixture. It felt like a warning shot, a message, a reminder to the rest of Italian football that this Inter side, already crowned champions, are still hungry for more. Because beating Lazio 3-0 in Rome just days before a cup final against the exact same opponent, that's psychological warfare as much as football. And it started immediately. 6 minutes in, who else but Lautaro Martinez, back in the lineup, back among the goals, and looking absolutely ruthless. One touch, one finish, one statement. That goal set the tone for the entire evening, and it is wonderful to have our captain back and doing what he does best. What impressed me the most wasn't just the scoreline, it was the control. We looked calm, mature, and completely aware of the moment. Even with rotation in the squad ahead of the final, the structure never broke. The midfield dictated tempo, the backline stayed composed, and every transition forward looked dangerous. Then came the second goal. Young Petar Sucic finishing off a beautiful move involving Lautaro and Andy Diouf. That was the moment Lazio started to look overwhelmed. And honestly, once Alessio Romagnoli saw red in the second half, the match was effectively over. Inter smelled blood. And then came the dagger. Henrik Mkhitaryan arriving late into the box, finishing a flowing midfield move, making it 3-0, and turning what was supposed to be a dress rehearsal into a full-blown domination. And here's the scary part for everyone else. This Inter side never really got out of second gear. They've now gone 9 matches unbeaten against Lazio. 7 wins, 2 draws. The matchup increasingly feels one-sided, and the confidence difference between these teams is impossible to ignore right now. But now we move to the real prize. Wednesday, May 13th, as of this recording, Coppa Italia final, back at the Olimpico, same opponent, entirely different pressure. The Coppa Italia final is now sitting there for Inter to complete the domestic double after securing the title. And this is where mentality matters. You know that Lazio will come out furious after what happened on Saturday. Maurizio Sarri knows his team cannot allow Inter the same freedom in midfield or the same transitional space. Expect them to play with much more aggression and discipline. But from an Inter perspective, you have to feel confident. Lautaro looks sharp again, the squad depth is incredible, the chemistry is flowing, and perhaps most importantly, this team looks like it genuinely enjoys these big moments. The key battle for me is Inter's midfield control. If players like Mkhitaryan or Zielinski or Sucic, hopefully Çalhanoğlu, if he's healthy, dictate position early, Lazio could spend another long night chasing shadows. But finals are different, as we know. One mistake changes everything. One counter-attack changes everything. Lazio will treat this like their season depends on it, because honestly, it kinda does. Still, we have looked like the gold standard in Italy this season. Stronger tactically, stronger mentally, stronger individually. Saturday's match didn't just show quality, it showed superiority. And now the Black and Blues stand 90 minutes away from another trophy. One more performance, one more statement, one more night to turn a great season into, dare I say, a legendary one, especially for Cristian Chivu, who only had 13 tokens as a coach with Parma up until last season. And before we wrap up, one more quick look ahead, because the schedule of course won't stop there. On Sunday, May 17th, Inter will return to Serie A action against Verona, where they will officially be crowned champions of Italy. And it will be fascinating to see how the team responds emotionally after the Coppa Italia final. Now, on paper, we're the clear favourites. The quality gap is obvious, the confidence is sky high, and Verona have struggled badly this season against top sides and are likely going to be relegated. But matches like this can sometimes become tricky, especially when they arrive right after a massive cup final. The big question is rotation. Do we see heavy changes from Cristian Chivu? Does he rest key players like Lautaro, or Ciala, or Bastoni, or Barella after the final? Or does he keep momentum going and demand another statement performance? That's what elite teams do. They don't relax after one trophy, they build habits, they keep winning. And for Inter, this game is another opportunity to show the mentality that's defined the entire season. Whether it's a Lazio in a final or Verona in a league match, the standards stay the same. I will also personally be watching some of the younger players closely if rotation happens, because matches like this are where squad depth becomes crucial heading into the summer and toward next season, not to mention of course we have the World Cup next month. But ultimately, if Inter play with the same intensity and control we saw against Lazio, Verona could be in for a very long evening. And that's the scary thing for the rest of Serie A right now. This Inter team looks relentless. So, we will see you after the Coppa Italia final and after, of course, the game against Verona. Well, that's it for today's episode of the Pazza Inter podcast. Remember, with Inter, it's never easy, it's never calm, and it's never boring, but we wouldn't have it any other way. Share the podcast with a fellow Inter fan or fellow football fan, and I'll see you next time. I have been your Italian DJ Nik. Thank you for listening, and as always, Forza Inter. Vamos!